Read the disclaimers. And please use common sense.
Salutations, denizens of the internet. I'm Firebytes27 and welcome back to 3DDD, or 3D Design Diary, the series where I show you all my 3D printer projects. And today's episode will be a bit on the shorter side, I'm afraid. So as many of you know, my main video series, It Figures, is all about action figures, and most of the shots in these episodes will have the figures posed in certain ways, mostly just to either make them look cool or funny. However, I don't typically make shots where the action figures are actually fighting each other, and it's for good reason. I only have so much space to work with on my tabletop, and if I use too many figures, then scenes get cluttered way too quickly. Seriously though, can any of you tell what's actually going on here right now? So I need something that's both relatively small, but also makes it visibly clear that the figure in question is fighting against it. And the design I've ended up landing on are these little turret thingies. The turrets are relatively simple to build, with a podium piece, 4 crystals for color breakup that go on the sides of the podium, a bottom hinge that swivels on the podium and also allows the gun to tilt up and down, a top part of the hinge that goes into the gun, pins to hold the hinge together, and of course, the gun. As per usual, it's a friction-based assembly, with the bottom part of the hinge going into the podium, the top hinge sliding over that piece, and then having pins inserted into the sides, both sides I should add, inserting the top of the hinge into the gun, and then adding the crystals for color breakup. Now, by this point in the series, there are undoubtedly some of you wondering why I use friction to hold most of my 3D print projects together. Wouldn't super glue work just as well as friction? And the answer to that is not really as well as you'd think it would. See, a big part of why this is such a big no-no is because there's a potential for chemical reactions. And if you don't remember your high school chemistry class, chemical reactions occur because certain atoms within molecules just bond with each other better. In the case of the hydrochloric acid and baking soda reaction I just showed off, sodium atoms have 1 electron that allows them to bond to another atom. Meanwhile, the outermost ring of a chlorine atom has 7 electrons. Now, chlorine just so happens to want a full set of 8 electrons in its outermost ring, and sodium happens to have that missing 1. And now that the sodium and chlorine have made table salt, the remaining atoms from those molecules go off to form water and carbon dioxide gas as a byproduct. A similar thing can happen when certain types of superglue meet with certain types of plastic. The glue might end up melting the plastic, or the superglue may end up drying a lot slower than it would otherwise, or never dry at all. Hell, sometimes the superglue and plastic end up merging together into either a gross gum-like residue, or a festering scab-like growth on the plastic. And mind you, neither that nor melting the plastic is really ideal in case I need to run maintenance on a hinge joint. If it's something I'm confident will never come apart again, sure, I'll try super glue and see how that works, though that's no guarantee it will actually bond the two together. But when it comes to moving parts like hinges, especially on 3D printer plastic, it's better off if they're easy to disassemble. And one last thing before we go. If you're not too enthusiastic about this minigun design for the turret, I also made this shotgun style turret, as well as an explosive launching turret. And I've made all 3 styles blast effect compatible. As per usual, links to my Thingiverse page with these files is in the description. And until next time, this is Firebytes27 over and out.